Something unusual happened this weekend. Thousands of people opened YouTube expecting the next chapter of one of the biggest automotive rebuilds on the platform, only to find nothing there. No new upload, no teaser, no last-minute replacement content. Instead, Matt Armstrong quietly posted a short message explaining that the travel had finally caught up with him, that this week's video had turned into an absolute beast of a project, and that everyone should enjoy the weather while they waited. For most creators, that wouldn't mean much. For Matt Armstrong, it means everything. This is the same builder who has spent months chasing impossible parts, diagnosing problems deep into the night, flying across countries to keep projects moving, and somehow continuing to upload through setbacks that would have stopped most rebuilds in their tracks. So when he says a video became too big to finish on time, people pay attention. Because projects don't grow beyond schedule without a reason. They grow when something major happens. And this time, that something involves one of the most talked about rebuilt hypercars in the world, a mysterious Dubai-based company called Venenum, a helicopter delivery that looked more like a movie scene than a workshop visit, and a decision that could permanently change the identity of Alex's Bugatti Chiron per sport. Most people had never heard of Venenum before this project. Yet among the people who own the kinds of cars most enthusiasts only ever see on posters, the company has quietly built a reputation for creating carbon fiber transformations that push some of the world's most exclusive vehicles beyond factory limits. The interesting part isn't that Venenum showed up. The interesting part is why they showed up. And the answer to that question is sitting inside the video Matt wasn't able to finish in time. Before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed, because the video expected this week is shaping up to be one of the most important chapters in this entire Chiron story. When it finally lands, a lot of questions people have been asking for months are going to be answered, and the direction of this rebuild may change completely. Because sitting inside that delayed upload, waiting to be properly shown to the world, is the most significant decision Alex's Chiron rebuild has produced since the moment Matt first drove it. Here's what you need to know before it drops. Extensive's Bugatti Chiron per sport, a car that Mate Rimac said could not be independently repaired, that spent over a year being rebuilt by Matt and Bob against manufacturer resistance, that was driven by both Matt and Alex when it finally came back to life, is getting a wide-body conversion. Not a subtle modification, not a different set of wheels. A complete transformation of the car's identity, carried out by a company that arrived by helicopter and left behind something Alex has been thinking about since long before the build was finished. The company is Venenum. They operate out of Dubai, work almost entirely on private referrals, and exist in the space between the world's most exclusive vehicles and the clients who want something beyond what the factory will ever offer. Extreme wide-body carbon fiber work on Bugattis, Ferraris, Rolls-Royces, the kind of commissions that don't get advertised, because the people placing them already know exactly who to call. Venenum doesn't need a shop front. Their portfolio speaks to a very specific room of people, and those people tell each other. Jake Paul made one phone call to Venenum so. 1 week later, a body kit arrived at Matt Armstrong's workshop by helicopter, while Alex drifted his BMW around the landing zone. That image, Alex doing donuts around a helicopter delivering a body kit for his own Chiron, isn't just a good visual. It tells you exactly where his head is right now. He isn't preserving something. He isn't being cautious. He's building the car he actually wants, and he's doing it with the energy of someone who has been waiting to reach this point for a very long time. That shift matters because of everything that came before it. Alex bought this Chiron. It crashed. He paid a significant buyback price to get it back and fund the rebuild. Then came over a year of watching Matt and Bob fight Bugatti for almost every component. Parts refused, Mate Rimac making public statements about a car Alex owned, the Chiron split in half, radiators failing. Everything the manufacturer said couldn't be done independently was done anyway. Slowly, painstakingly, in a Florida workshop, without a single piece of official support. By the time the car was back on the road and Matt had driven it, the relationship between Alex and the idea of keeping this car in factory specification had dissolved. You can't go through what he went through and come out feeling like you owe the factory anything. Bugatti made that impossible by choosing obstruction at every turn. So now Alex is building the car he wants, and the car he wants has wider arches, a more aggressive stance, and bodywork Bugatti would never in a million years sanction. The renders that came with the announcement made clear that Venenum understood the assignment. A Chiron Per Sport in standard form is already shaped by function, aerodynamically purposeful, proportioned around performance rather than appearance. The wide-body conversion doesn't soften any of that. It amplifies everything. The arches push the track significantly wider, the stance drops and broadens, and the entire visual presence of the car changes. It looks like something that exists just beyond what Bugatti itself imagined this platform could become, which raises a question worth sitting with honestly. A Chiron Per Sport is one of 60 ever built. The moment this one is transformed, it leaves the category the other 59 belong to. It becomes something entirely its own, more interesting to some people, more complicated to others. The collector who wants an untouched Per Sport and the person who wants a Venenum wide body on a rebuilt, crash-damaged example are not the same buyer. Those markets don't overlap. That's worth sitting with for a moment, because a lot of people watching this story unfold are going to have strong opinions about it either way. Purists will point out that a Per Sport's value, historically, has been tied to its rarity and its factory-correct condition. Modify it, and in the eyes of that market, you've taken something finite and made it permanently different. Enthusiasts on the other side of that argument will say the opposite, that a car with this history was never going to sit quietly in a climate-controlled garage anyway, and that turning it into something unrepeatable is exactly the point. Neither side is wrong. They're just answering different questions about what a car like this is actually for. But Alex was never building this car for the collector market. He was building it because he wanted to own and drive something extraordinary. What happened during the rebuild changed what that ownership means to him. This car now represents over a year of fighting, everything Matt invested in it, and the distance between what Bugatti said was possible and what actually happened. Treating it as interchangeable with any other factory Per Sport would ignore all of that. The wide-body conversion is Alex finishing the story on his own terms. One more thing worth noting about Venenum specifically, because the helicopter and the donuts are the visible part of this story, but not the most revealing part. A company that operates through private referrals in Dubai delivered a bespoke carbon fiber wide-body package for one of 60 Chiron Per Sports in the world in 7 days. That timeline means one of two things. Either Venenum had already been developing Chiron concepts before this phone call happened, and the project simply needed a client, or their operation is genuinely capable of moving at a speed most established bodywork companies would never attempt. Both possibilities say something significant about who they are. If the concept already existed, they saw this car as a canvas worth exploring before Alex had even thought about it. If they built it in a week, then what they can produce on a proper timeline, with full access to the car, precise fitment measurements, and months rather than days, is something the automotive world hasn't seen from them yet. Either way, the helicopter entrance was earned. Not because it was theatrical, but because the work sitting inside those crates justified making an entrance. Matt Armstrong is going to make sure the execution matches the arrival. That's what the delayed upload actually is. Not a missed deadline, but the story of a rebuild becoming something bigger than a rebuild, captured properly, taking the time it needs because the subject deserves it. Anyone who has followed this build from the beginning knows Matt doesn't rush the moments that matter. He didn't rush the diagnosis when the car first arrived broken. He didn't rush the fight with Bugatti over parts. He isn't going to rush the video that finally shows the world what this car is becoming. The video is coming. When it lands, it will have been worth waiting for. Subscribe now so you're there the moment it drops, because what happens next on this Chiron is going to be unlike anything this rebuild has produced so far.